Good morning everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today you guys know what I'm gonna do because of my title, and I'm going to meet the MUGEN SI owners. He also has a EVO 9 and a S2000. I think he's a JDM collector, and this is my car right here. And also I'm gonna do a comparison between his car and my car, and his car only got like 30,000 miles, which is like very cool for '08. And yeah, I'm so excited to see what his car has. He told me it's all stock. I'll see you guys there. Alright guys, here's the moment of the truth. This is his house. I think I spotted an EVO. Here, the EVO is right there.
Alright, what's up guys?
John
here in Smyrna, Georgia, just outside of Atlanta. Right now we're in the 2006 Lancer Evolution 9 MR. MR is Mitsubishi Racing, and with the MR you get the 6-speed transmission, which I personally love. You get the extra gear for highway, so you get a little better MPGs, plus having that extra gear is nice. You get Bilstein suspensions, you get the cool vortex generator. You get down here, as you can see, the boost gauge and the gauge cluster set. And then of course the coolest thing, you get these stock Recaros and stock Momo steering wheel. And you get aluminum front fenders, you get aluminum hood, you get aluminum roof. This car is about, last I weighed it at the track, it was about 3,100 pounds, give or take. It was about 3,300 with me in it, and I'm 200 pounds, so about right at 3,100 pounds. It makes roughly about 360 wheel horsepower, so that's about 410 to the crank. So it's, and then of course having a Mugen SI and an S2000 for 10 years, I was like, man, these cars are really fast, but when you get in this, it's a whole nother experience. My buddy has a tuned GTR, and we go out and play, and he's only about a bumper or so faster than me, which is hard to believe. And but of course this has got the intake, test pipe, exhaust, tune, and it's all, I'm running about 21, 22 PSI, give or take. And like I said, it's all stock. Interior wise, I got the OEM shift knob back on. It came with this head unit, which at first I really didn't care for, but I've fallen in love with. As you can see, it tilts, which is really cool, I think. And then of course you got your carbon fiber-esque trim panel here with the 9s. The 9s they only made for 2006 only. The EVO 8 debuted in 2003 for the US market, and the EVO 8 came out with 271 horsepower. Now they had what's called a gentleman's agreement, if you will, meaning that they didn't want to go an over advertised 270 horsepower for bragging rights and insurance purposes and stuff like that. So when the EVO 0405 EVO came out, it had 276 horsepower, and then the EVO 9 came out in 2006 when it was the first engine with MyVec, which is similar to Honda's VTEC tuning, except there's only one cam that opens. And so when the EVO 9 came out, it was advertised at 286 horsepower, but these are all known to put down anywhere from 310 to 320 stock on a stock dyno. So that's why you look at numbers and you're not familiar with these cars, you're like, they only have 286, how could they possibly have, you know, how could yours possibly make 360 with just a few mods? Well, you open up the mods, you open up the PSI, and the fact that they're already underrated from the factory really shows that these cars' potential. 11 STI, and they're both tuned My buddy's 2011 is actually faster than my buddy's 2018, and he and I are pretty dead even. I think once we got up to a little higher, I'd probably start to walk away. But the STIs are cool cars. I mean, I respect them.
Yeah.
But it's just the EVO to me is just raw performance. I mean, if you want performance and you really want to win a race, if you will, I mean, this is the car to get in. The fact, like, to me, the fact that it doesn't have cruise control is so cool. I love that because it's a race car for the streets.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it's a race car for the streets. And this is what I love. I mean, I love it when guys in M3s try to act cool and I pull away from them. I mean, that's the sweetest thing, because people are like, oh, what's that little Lancer? I mean, it can't be fast, right? You know.
Yeah.
But this car started in 1992 from a Galant, and then it went to the 92 model for an EVO, 93 for like an EVO 1. And they've been all the way up until 2015, the EVO 10. And 2008, the EVO 10 debuted, and that ran from 2008 to 2015. And those were a cool car. I actually looked at those before I looked at this. I had my heart set on the EVO 9 from years and years and years of wanting one in high school and everything like that, and how fast they are, and how there's still nothing that touches them.
Yeah.
But the EVO 10 is just a bigger, heavier car, and it just doesn't feel nearly as fast or performance oriented or as special as this, because they only made it for 1 year. Whereas the 8s they made for 7 years. I mean the 10s, excuse me, the 10s they made for 7 years. So and they just don't feel nearly as fast as this. It feels like they softened them up, and you know, still a great car.
Yeah.
But I mean, EVO 9 and 8 owners versus 10 owners always kind of get in a little. But I mean, I love the EVO 10, don't get me wrong, but as far as just like performance wise and holding value better, I think this is the better car. But however, the EVO 10, I will say, if you were to daily, I think the EVO 10 would be a better daily car. And then of course the debate of the 4G63 motor, which is in here, versus the 4B11 motor in the EVO 10. This is one of my rental houses, by the way, here.
Oh, okay.
And I have a couple rental properties that I manage and stuff like that. But but the 4B11 that's in the EVO 10 is you know, it's a back and forth debate of which is the better motor. This has an iron block, so it is it's a little more stronger to handle more power. Now, however, the EVO 10 4B11 weighs 27 more pounds, 27 less pounds because it's aluminum head. I don't feel like it could take as much power personally. Yeah. And personally, the 4G63 motor has been going since 25 years. So the longevity, the bulletproofness is why, in my opinion, the 4G63 motor, in my opinion, is the greatest 4-cylinder motor ever produced. Yeah. A lot of people will say, oh, well, the B18 C5 out of the Type R, and secondly would be like the F22 or F20 out of the S2000s. Those are, I mean, as you know, the Ferrari just passed the limits on the S2000 about NA, naturally aspirated power per liter. But the S2000 held the record, 120 horsepower per liter for years. And but as far as like just power, rawness, I mean, this motor is just, I mean, unbelievable. And I'm gonna keep this. I'm not really I don't have any plans to do anything more to this. I mean, it's really quick the way it is. Yeah. You know, you start tinkering and doing more stuff, you know, you got risk for, you know, engine problems and stuff like that. Whereas this has a reliable 400 crank horsepower, and for a package this light and being all-wheel drive, it's, I mean, it's like the perfect recipe. It's funny. My friends will get in the S2000 and they'll be like, man, this thing feels slow after being an EVO, and I'm just kind of like, thanks. Because the S2000, it is a fast car in its own right. I mean, it's a, you know, high to mid 13 second quarter mile. I mean, it's not slow by any means. Yeah. It's respectable. But then you get in this, and it's a mid 12 second car. It's a big difference. You know, I mean, you're talking 0 to 60 on this, mid to low 4s, whereas the S2000 is mid to low 5s. So let the engine warm up here a little bit. and you can. I'm hoping through this video you can hear my blow-off valve.
Yeah.
I know Albert here can hear it riding.
I can hear it clearly.
And a lot of other ones that I've
amazing.
seen for sale, they don't have. You can't hear all the cool sounds and stuff like this. The previous owner had this tuned.
Yeah.
He had this. It was a guy that owned it in California, and then a dealer picked it up in Phoenix. They're a specialty EVO dealership.
Yeah.
And they had this car, and I went and then had it shipped from there, from Arizona, and it was just my dream car. It was everything that I wanted.
Yeah.
As you can hear the blow-off valve. I mean it just handles. I mean, unbelievable. Albert here, he has a Mugen as well, and our Mugens are awesome cars.
Awesome.
I mean, I love the Mugen. It's incredible. I mean, as far as like, but like you get to this car and it's just like a whole nother ball game, and it's but then of course you're talking double the power. You know, this is hand built in Japan. I mean, you know, as much as I love the Mugen, it's still a Civic at heart. And, you know, and people say, oh, this is a Lancer, but you know, this is so the chassis is all redefined. There's strut bars everywhere.
Yeah.
And then the absolute coolest thing about this car is that, you know, when I took delivery of it, it was everything I imagined, and then some times a million. And the coolest part about it is, I mean, is if you drive this like a Civic and stay out of boost, you can get almost 20 miles to the gallon around town, which to me is mind-boggling.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, to have this much performance, this much power.
And the fuel economy is good.
That fuel economy. Now, a lot of that is the MyVec, the updated motor. It helps. As you can see, you can hear the blow-off valve. And it's just unbelievable. I mean,
it's amazing.
The performance of it. A lot of people brag on the EVOs or dis or whatever adjective you want or adverb you want to use. Oh, well, the turbo lag. I don't know if the tune on this car helps, but there's absolutely zero turbo lag. I mean, it's hard to stay out of boost, because if you look here at 3,000, you can hear it already start to come on. So I mean, it's the thing that I love about this car and this turbo setup is, like GTIs, STIs, other turbo cars, it's kind of like our VTEC in the Hondas. You have to wait for it to spool. Yeah. Like the VTEC, it's like a turbo lag, VTEC essentially, if you will. Yeah. Whereas this thing, it's boost, 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 boost. You know, as much as you can handle, it has.
Yeah.
Which is just really, really cool. And second gear pull here. As you can see, I mean, it's like slap you in the face, hold on kind of power.
Yeah.
I mean, it's and it just handles just as we go through this kind of sort of semi-windy road here. But you know, I test drove a Civic Type R, and I wanted this car. Every bone in my body, I wanted this car, and I was like, you know, if I can find a clean one, if I can find a graphite gray, because in my opinion, the EVO 9 in graphite gray is the sexiest color over the gray BBS wheels.
Yeah.
And I found one in Arizona, and you know, the numbers worked, and we were able to make a deal. And I never forget taking delivery of it. I was like a 5-year-old at Christmas, getting it off the truck. The guy, meeting him, getting it off his truck, and yeah, you know, it's the last JDM all-wheel drive turbocharged sedan that really is left. I mean, the Civic Type R is cool, but when you drive it, it's so wide, it's so big, it's just too big a car for my taste and liking. And the fact that it's not JDM, it's all-wheel drive, it actually makes less power than this, and the turbo isn't as stout. And you know, and the thing that I hate about the Civic Type R is it's made in England, it's not JDM, they cheaped out on a lot of stuff, whereas this car is just, You know, everything is just race car-esque. I mean, it's a bare bones race car, no fluff, no foo-foo. You know, I mean, it's and to get really more performance in this car, you got to spend a ton of money.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, it's not going to be nearly as cool, because you get, I mean, they only made this car for 1 year. I mean, you look around, how many EVO 8s and 9s do you see? I mean, and STIs are at every corner.
Yeah.
You know, and but these cars just, they aren't everywhere. It's a rare car. It fits my personality great, just that kind of, you know, that energy of just, and all of a sudden you floor it and it's just like, oh man, hold on, you know, kind of thing. And it's great. And the fact that, you know, my Mugen around town gets maybe 23, 24 miles to the gallon.
Yeah.
And this thing's getting, you know, 19 or 20 with double the power.
Yeah.
You know, which is really cool to think about. But as you can see, if you just granny shift and drive it normally, it's, you know, you'd never know what's under tap.
Yeah.
And I mean, it just shifts and drives beautifully. You know, everything about this car is just unbelievable. And I mean, my dad, we grew up, you know, with cars, and every kind of car you can imagine I've driven or we've owned.
Yeah.
And you know, and this thing is just like, you know, holy smokes. I mean, it's no other way to describe it. I mean, you know, if you're a muscle car guy, then yeah, you're gonna look at it like, oh, it's just a Lancer or a four-banger.
Yeah,
you know? But even muscle car guys, you know, respect and know what this car has, and the performance it has, and everything like that.
Yeah.
And I respect Mustangs. You know, they're awesome cars, and Camaros and Corvettes and stuff, but you know, just the JDM build and quality is
it's amazing.
I mean, is just spot on. And me being the OCD anal comic person that I am, you know, the panel gaps here are perfect. Everything's perfect. The power gets down beautifully. Yeah. And the beauty of this car is I bought it October 1st, 2018. So a little over a year now. And I mean, I'll never lose value on this car. I'll never be able to sell it for less than I bought it for, which I think is really cool. Anytime you can get a car that you love, or anything that you love, think about it, whatever it may be, and the fact that you can sell it for more than you paid for it, to me is just really cool. Yeah. The SIs, I don't even pick on SIs. You know, there's an SI right here. Yeah. And, you know, it's just not fair to pick on guys.
Oh yeah.
You know, and their SI.
Say hi.
You know, but
okay.
But you can see just the power. I mean, it's incredible. I mean, incredible power.
Civic is gone.
Yeah, I mean, he tried, but
he tried.
It was just, he kept getting smaller and smaller in my rear view. You know, but it's fun. I mean, this car. I mean, it's 99% stock. I mean, that's the crazy thing.